Hello and welcome back to the Spilled Milk Podcast. It's going to be fun. I hope you enjoy.
So, do you guys have any messages to your younger selves? Something that you would want yourself to know?
Honestly, I feel like when I look back to little Kendall when she was in high school and stuff, I feel like this is kind of like sad, I guess, but I wish I could just give her a hug and be like, everything's going to be good. You're going to figure things out. And then you're going to go on and you're going to start a podcast with your friends and you're going to have a glow up and you're going to be hot. It's all going to work out.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think something I would tell to my younger self is like work ethic wise, I would tell myself to work harder. I feel like there's a lot of occasions. I feel like I do have like a fairly decent work ethic already, but I mean, there's lots of occasions where I could have worked a little bit harder, like in school or doing sports or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Could have gone a long way. Yeah.
I would definitely have done the same thing when it comes to like picking a college or figuring out like what I want to do. Obviously, you can't tell yourself go into this area.
Yeah.
But like maybe like lead yourself like, hey, you're really good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years down the line, things that I didn't know until I was in college, like finance. I didn't know I was good at finance until literally my third year of college. And I was like, well, wish I told myself that probably would have gone to a different college and a totally different degree and program and everything.
I agree. What do you think that you would have done if you could go back and study something different?
If I'm talking to myself, like outdoor lab self, second semester senior year, I would probably tell myself finance or probably something with software, maybe software development. I don't know if I'd actually want to be like a software developer or something, but something maybe more technology driven instead of just I have a general business degree.
Right.
And I mean, that's cool, but everybody has a general business degree, so it makes me very not competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like going into software and like software development is like stuff like that. I feel like in the next like upcoming years, it's going to be taken over by computers.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. With all this like chat
coding
GPT
and stuff
going on too.
Yeah.
You type a question in and it like a random question to this random software and it can answer it for you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think a lot of things are going to be taken over by artificial intelligence and stuff like that.
What's something that won't? Like what's a field that needs human touch?
I think there's a lot of things that need human touch but are still being taken over a little bit, and I don't know how successful that'll be, but I know for me, being someone in a creative industry, it's really disheartening to see AI taking over stuff like music because I think, and regardless, I think that people will always want stuff that was actually written by a real person. But if there's a generated song that's a freaking banger, I think people will still listen to it. You know, you just never know.
That's crazy to think about.
What do you mean?
Like an AI is gonna make a song and it's gonna become a banger.
Yeah,
like that's very possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're always going to need someone singing. Like an AI won't be able to sing, but it could probably make
they make voices. Have you seen those like TikToks where they're like Donald Trump is playing video games?
I have so many on my TikTok of them playing Minecraft, and it'll be like Donald Trump, and it'll be like, "Okay, Sleepy Joe,
yeah,
like get your ass over here."
Funny.
Is Barack back? No. Okay, go put a bunch of TNT in it, and it's like all the past presidents' voices, dude. Oh my gosh, those are so funny.
Yeah.
But that shit's developing really quick. So
It
you
is.
don't know
I feel like
where
in
we're
the
gonna
past
be.
year, it's gone a long way.
Yeah,
Just
for
wait
sure.
For 5-10 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of going back to what you would tell yourself in the past. I feel like if I told myself, just be patient, you're good. Like don't stress out about this. There's like this rule that's like if it's not going to be a big thing in your life in 5 years, don't put too much thought into it. Don't think of it for more than 5 days.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's kind of true. Because there's so much stuff that I probably worried about in high school and like my first few years of college. And I'm like, I can't even tell you what I was stressing about in college. I tried to tell my sister that a lot, like going into college. I was like, just if you're stressed on an assignment, just do your best and just move on. That assignment is not going to define you. Yeah. You're fine. You're still going to graduate.
Right.
I think there's a lot of cliches that our parents or other adult figures in our lives would always tell us that you know, we kind of all brush past, but they're actually really true. And I think maybe if I could go back and tell it to myself, I would be more inclined to listen. But things just like when I always hated when adults were like, these are going to be the best 4 years of your life, blah, 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 blah. Or just that they go by really quick. And, you know, when you're in it, it feels like forever and you don't believe them. But it does actually go by really quick.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it'll be super like insignificant, honestly.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. When I was in my first 2 years of college, when I was an elementary ed major, all these teachers and classes and stuff like that, I worried so much about and just got super strung on. And then my parents would tell me just like, it's fine, just don't worry about it. And then looking back at it, there's so many things that like my parents would tell me. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I also think I would tell myself to steer clear of some people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you could go back in time,
Yeah.
you would avoid them.
Yeah.
Really?
Some people were more trouble than they were worth.
But do you think you learned any lessons from meeting them, or are there people you're like, no, you could cut them out and I would never have met them?
I think there's always going to be a lesson, but sometimes the lesson doesn't feel worth the hardship. And I know that I think I'm someone who believes that going through the difficult shit in life is really, really important, and you learn so much more from that than the good things that happen. But at the same time, there are certain things where it's like the lesson you learned is kind of common sense, and you did kind of already know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just suffered a lot from being around this person and in their life. And sometimes it's like, I'd rather learn that from a different person, I think.
Yeah.
If somehow that person could know exactly what you were going to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would definitely have told myself, like, go do that thing.
Oh.
If there's like certain things that I like regret not doing, or like activities or something like that, or hanging out with some person, I would have definitely said, you're fine. You don't need to worry about it. Just go do it and just go have a great time doing it.
Yeah.
Financially, you'll be fine. Like mentally, you'll be fine. You'll enjoy it. You'll be so glad that you did it.
I think there's also been things that I have actually done that I would just still emphasize. Do that.
Yeah.
It made a big difference in your life and you really liked it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like our trip to Arizona.
Yeah, I'm just being an outdoor lab intern because I really was not certain that I was going to do that. And I'm obviously so happy I did because now we're all still friends and we're doing this together.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, we met each other 5 years ago. We've known each other for 5 years and we're still hanging out, living life together. Yeah. You know?
I feel so lucky that happened to us because that did not happen to every group of people who went there.
That is very
and
true.
Did what we did.
Oh yeah.
I think we are a very rare group of people that came out of there and stayed friends.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like even the interns the semester after us are not
nowhere
nowhere near as close or before. We're definitely a specific select few case.
And it honestly feels like the other people who worked there could sense that. I feel like and obviously we're biased because it's us, but we were such a special group. And I remember at our intern graduation ceremony, all of these staff members were so upset to see us go too. And like we just bonded with everybody there.
We were literally the best.
Yeah.
As like a cohesive unit, we were we got everything done that we needed to get done. Obviously we mess up every now and then, but we bounce back harder.
Yeah.
And we made so many friends that weren't even like our group with the teachers and all the people there. We became really good friends with them too.
And we've become even closer since.
We've become so much closer since.
It's crazy because I think looking back while we were there, I wouldn't have thought that was possible because I thought we were just but we're
like coworkers, like, you know.
We're a family.
We were literally coworkers. I would definitely kind of change of topic. I would have 100% gone back and told my past self, go on the boat when you go to Lake Havasu. Because that day was crazy. We woke up and it was our last full day and we were debating like, well, what do we want to do, this or that? And someone brought up the idea like, well, we could go boating. And then we calculated all the prices and we just did it. And it was like that was probably the highlight of the trip. We almost sunk the boat. We hung out on the lake literally all day from like 10 to 5 for like 7 hours. And it was worth every single penny.
100%.
Every penny.
Do you think if your girlfriend could go back in time, she'd tell herself to drive the boat still?
She makes the joke so much. She goes, "Don't ever let me drive a boat again." I'm like, it wasn't you.
Yeah,
You were not the
not
issue
her.
driving. It was because everybody was at the front of the boat.
I felt so bad for her.
Oh, she was so scared. She
the
got
boat
so
police
scared.
came up to us as soon as we crashed.
Yeah, tell them what happened.
They were like, "Who was driving?"
So we did like a big out and back trip on the on Lake Havasu, and we did out and back, and we were coming back, and on the way back everybody like drove the boat because everybody wanted to drive the boat, and we're coming back and everybody was towards the front of the boat except for my girlfriend, myself, and maybe one other person. Otherwise we had a bunch of weight in the front of the back.
We also had like a couple of coolers up there filled with like drinks and ice.
At the front, and we started going really fast, and we hit this really choppy water, and the front of our boat hit a wave, and literally the boat started sinking.
Yeah.
Like half the boat got submerged, and we somehow got flat level. We're good. We were all like half petrified, and then next thing you know, we literally see this cop boat come out of nowhere. They pull up and just go, "Who was driving the boat?" like who's driving the boat? And we, me, I was driving the boat, and my girlfriend was so scared, and then we were all like petrified. Don't go too fast, don't go too fast on the way back.
Yeah, poor thing.
That was so funny though.
I just remember I was sitting in the back, so I didn't get the worst of it, but I just remember all of a sudden the front of the boat was just pointed downward, and this huge wave came over the boat, and then all of a sudden everyone who was sitting in the front, I couldn't see them anymore. And then didn't someone lose a shoe or something? I don't know.
I remember Puurich is at the front of the boat, and he was dry, and the next thing I know, this wave comes, and he's soaking wet.
I didn't get fully submerged, so I thought it was just like a big splash. But then everyone, like the whole boat, the front of the boat was like started to sink, and I had to open the door to let all the water out.
Yeah.
I wonder how far people could hear our screams.
Yeah. I wonder, that would be something funny to like go back in time and just witness again. Do you guys have any of those moments? Besides that, is like, imagine you're like a fly. Do you have anything like you want to watch it happen?
I can't think of anything. I don't think I've done that many adventurous things though. I tell my younger self to do more of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of the things that pops up into my mind was when my mom got remarried, we took a trip to Hawaii, and my stepbrother and I went cliff jumping at this place called Black Rock Beach. And it was these super tall, jaggedy rocks, and it was super deep water, so everybody there was cliff jumping. And I remember I got all the way up, and my stepbrother's a daredevil. He got up, and I was like, do a flip, do a backflip. And he goes, okay, and just gets up and just does it.
Full
I was like, holy shit. I was like, whoa. And so he was like, you got to do it. And I was like, okay. And so I did it, and that would be something that I'd want to go watch, because every now and then I'll daydream about that because it was so fun. But just watching myself, because I didn't overthink it. Yeah. And I just went up and I just did it.
Yeah.
And then we saw all these turtles and stuff like that. That'd be a super cool moment to go back and watch.
Is there anything that you would tell your older self? Or if you were to listen back on this in 5 years, like where do you hope to be? What do you hope to have accomplished?
I definitely would ask them, just saying like, is this worth my time or no? Because if I end up on a totally different path of life and certain things that I'm worried about now or potentially in the future, just be like, is that worth it? If not, I'm just going to scrap it and just get there faster, get wherever I am faster. I would definitely ask that.
I think a lot of people like rush things in their life, like getting married or getting a job, or they feel like stressed and they feel the need to do things faster because everyone else is. But like I heard this one guy, like motivational speakers, say a lot of people overestimate what they can do in 5 or 10 years, but they underestimate what they can do in 10 years or in 1 year. So, I mean, you just got to take it day by day.
Yeah.
And then you do your thing and it'll work out.
Wow. That's like crazy.
Yeah.
To like hear that come from another person, because you can tell yourself that, but that was cool.
Yeah.
That was very wise.
I also like what you said about not rushing things, because I definitely find myself doing that, and I think
me too.
I miss the excitement, and just how I was when I was a kid, how all of us were when we were
Yeah.
a kid. Like, you don't see the world how it is, you see it how it can be. And like, I had all of these dreams and goals, and I wanted to take a non-traditional route in my life in terms of working, when I go to school, when I start a family, all of that stuff. And then you are in this college environment and you see all of these people around you doing these adult things already. And then I will find myself starting to think, well, when am I going to do that? And I don't even want that yet.
Yeah.
And it's just it's so much pressure. And it's like, we have so much time.
Yeah.
So much time in our life to work and to do all of the things that we have to do. Like, why rush them?
Yeah. Just be patient. Just take it day by day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I go on Facebook now and I feel like every other post I see is somebody I went to high school with either
Getting
pregnant or getting
Yep.
married, or they're already married, or they're having their second kid.
Uh-huh.
That's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine already being in that state of my life. There's so many things that I still want to do on my own.
Right, and everybody's different. I mean, those people, I'm sure, are ready to have their first or second kid or to get married. But, I mean, I'm not, so...
I'm definitely not.
I'm
I think
not
a lot
going
of
to.
people aren't ready, though.
Yeah.
But it just happened to happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or, like, a certain circumstance caused them to have to rush things, or they felt pressured, like we're saying right now, to do it, and then they did it, and then they'll probably regret it later. Some are definitely ready, but I don't know. It's wild. I can't imagine already being married and with a child right now.
That'd be scary.
That would be scary.
Especially because I'm still in school.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people almost, whether they think it or not, I feel like they also kind of rush it.
Yeah.
They think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the naiveness of being younger, but
Right.
Yeah. I definitely feel that when it comes to the family stuff, because I think there's also that ticking clock in everyone's mind. If you want to have kids, then you feel like you have to
especially
start,
for women.
Yeah, you have to start at a certain age, because ideally I'm someone who would like to put it off as long as I possibly can get away with putting it off. But then I feel like I can't do that, because then I might risk not being able to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
do you guys have any goals / ideas of where you want to be in by the end of this year, by the end of 2023, end of 24, that sort of thing, where you want to be in 5 years, almost the like, not necessarily where you hope to be, but where you want to be as a goal?
I think that I definitely want to have a job that, it doesn't have to be my dream job, but one that I'm comfortable in, one that I enjoy, that I don't dread waking up every morning and going to, and just having my own place, just feeling really completely independent in every way for the first time in my life. I think that's what I really want.
Yeah.
And I also hope to see like some big things with this podcast. I hope that we're still making it, because I realistically, even if nobody listens, I always say this, it's just been so much fun doing it, and us getting to be together and see each other more often. So yeah.
This has been very cathartic for me.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's the moment of peace every week.
Yeah. And honestly, if anyone is listening, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We all think we're literally psychopaths, and we just be happy that we like you being a psychopath with us.
You freaks.
Yeah, I think in a few years, you know, I want to, for me, I've jumped into my career, and I have not even been in my career for a full year yet, but I want to know in like 5 years, what do I want to do? And maybe have even like a small little movement into either a path or some form of department, you could say, of what I want to be doing, because I don't know what I want to do. I know I'm good at certain things, but how do you apply that into a job? You know, I would love to get a promotion by the end of this year, but maybe in 2-3 years, maybe by the end of 2025, I've kind of honed in a little bit more on maybe a specific part of what I'm doing to kind of grow.
That's really good.
What about you, Puurich?
I think for me, within the next couple of years, I would like to graduate. And then after that, like Kendall said, I think I would like to have a job that I'm stable in, and I also like doing. I don't want to go to a job, wake up every day and hate my life, you know? And I think within the next year, I don't have any like personal goals other than like fitness related things.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think by the summer I would like to be 175 or lower.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on right now. But if that doesn't happen, then, I got time.
You're so taking it day by day.
Yeah.
I love that because you're like, I want to graduate and I want to be 175.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great goal for you, though, because I know how big fitness has become like a part of your life. And I think that it's been a really good thing for you mentally. It's like an escape almost. And
It is,
I think
100%.
it helps you process things.
Yeah.
And that is definitely not me, but I can see that it's you. So
Yeah.
I think that you have a really great chance at getting there. I think we've also seen you put in so much work in this already for the last couple of years.
Yeah. I think for like this podcast, it's like a piece in within the week, but within my day is like when I get to work out, I get to be alone. I get to be with my thoughts. And if I'm angry, I can let it out,
Yeah.
Something cool is with your fitness. Like, I know I can generalize this, but like we can see it.
Yeah.
Like we can see pictures of when we met you and like where you are. Like you're in a totally different like physical state.
Yeah.
And that's cool because I know that you like that.
Yeah.
And you like to hear that. Like,
love that.
You look way different.
Yeah. I can also see it, which is like what keeps me going every day.
Yeah.
You can always be better tomorrow than you are today.
Damn. I think like with that too, it's just cool for all of us because even though we've only known each other 5 years of our lives, it does feel like we've grown up together because we did meet when we were young, still growing, still like developing our minds and our personalities and still figuring out who we are and who we want to be. And it's going to be cool to I know we already have a lot of pictures and videos that we can look back on and see how much has changed, but this podcast will be cool to listen back on too. It's almost like a time capsule.
Yeah. That'll be super cool.
We've like all known each other through so many different phases of our lives. I feel like you guys have seen me in so many different states of being.
Yeah. Would you, if somebody came up to you and offered you a time machine, this is going to be like a multiple part question, right? Would you go and see yourself in the future? You don't talk to yourself, you can't interact with yourself at all, but would you want to go see where you go? And do you want to go see what you're doing in 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Would that be something that's intriguing?
I think I would.
Yeah.
I think that's like something I'm curious about. It's like where I'm going.
You can't 20. Talk to yourself.
Right.
You literally just you see yourself from a long distance.
Yeah. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kendall?
I don't know if I would, honestly. I know this wasn't an option you gave. I think if the choice was to just hear, like, am I doing well? Am I successful? Am I happy? That's all I care about. But I don't want to ruin it for myself. I think I'm the type of person where if I saw where I was, even if I didn't talk to myself, but I would overthink it. And then every moment of my life would be like, well, what do I need to do to get there?
Fair. Yeah. It's kind of like do you want to know how you die or do you want to know when you die type of question?
I think it just causes more stress.
That's fair.
Now, so this will be more towards Kendall then. Would you want to go do that if you could talk to yourself and interact with yourself in the future?
I don't know. I think I would maybe want to talk to them, but I don't think I would want to ask anything in terms of like, how did you get where you are? I think I'd just want general advice. Like, what should I work on with myself? Like, what should I just keep living my life, doing my own thing and I'll get there, or like what? You know?
Yeah.
I do think on the flip side of seeing yourself in the future, if you are in like a state of hell 20 years from now, it would be scary to see.
Yeah.
You know?
Or if you're like dead, you like go 30 years and you're like not anywhere to be found. You're like, wait.
Yeah. And then you're like, when does it happen though?
Yeah. Then you'd probably become even more paranoid.
Right.
Because if you went forward 30 years and you were nowhere to be found, it's like, you don't know if that happened just now. If it happened 5 years ago, 20 years ago.
It could literally happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
And you would have no idea.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Now, same question, but in the past. Say you could go back 5 years in the past to just watch yourself, like a movie. Would you?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Watch myself? Probably. Talk to myself? No.
Really?
I don't know, but I think I would get so much like firsthand embarrassment watching myself. It would be so cringy. My middle school phase was not a pleasant time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would, overlook and watch myself and relive those good moments.
Yeah.
Like any time I'm hanging out with friends or if I'm out on a trip or on vacation or something, I would like to relive those moments in my life.
I literally am like both of you, but like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because part of me really, really wants to talk to myself, not to give anything away, just to be like, just chill, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But also like hint, like give subtle hints. Hey, this person, this thing, pay attention.
Yeah.
That like, and then just there. But I'd love to also watch myself and just watch it as a movie.
Yeah.
And just be like, you're such a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you do that?
That's a good point, though. I do think I would love to relive some of the happy memories in my past.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that if you were to relive or just watch some of the more tragic events in your life, do you think that it would make you sad all over again? Or do you think it would give you hope being like, wow, I'm not there anymore?
I would love to go back and rewatch that. Because thinking about like the bike accident, right? That I talked about, I think it would be really interesting to watch how everyone around me acts, because I think that would give me a special appreciation for how that was viewed, because I only know it from a first person. Now seeing it from a third person would be really cool.
I think it would be good to go back and like combine like the sadness and the hope. It gives us like more motivation to go the next day.
Inside Out really gave me a special appreciation for like sadness and stuff. Like watching that movie, because a core memory was always happy for the girl, and then she had her first like sad core memory,
right?
And that like movie just gave me a whole new appreciation for like, you can be sad,
right?
It's okay. You don't have to be joyful every second of every single day.
I just thought of another question that's kind of different but similar theme. Do you think that if you could go back throughout the years, like at different big stages of your life, and hear how the people around you in your life thought of you and perceived you as a person and how that's changed, do you think that you'd want to, or do you think your feelings would get hurt?
Oh,
I don't think I would want to.
No?
Like I'm torn, because like it would be good to see like what other people think so I can like grow myself. But if I'm me as 21 years old going back and listening and I'm not able to change myself in that day, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I wouldn't want to know either, because regardless of if I knew then or not,
there's no chance for you to do anything about it.
I think it'd be interesting. Oh man, dang. Maybe I would just to hear.
Right.
Like if I went back in time to hear what people thought about me, I think it would be interesting, but part of it's like, why does it matter? I don't care what they thought about me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't care now.
I don't know. I think I would want to hear what only the people who were in my life who I was genuinely close to. I think there were a lot of times growing up where I felt really alone and I felt like nobody cared. And I think I feel that way a lot still to this day, even though I'm surrounded by a lot of great people. And I think sometimes it would be nice to like have that reassurance, like people cared more than you thought that you did than they did. Because it's like, I think that says a lot to hear how somebody thinks about you when you're not around. They have no reason to lie or hide anything.
Right.
They're being completely honest. And to like hear the positive things, I think that would mean a lot to me.
Oh, I didn't think about positives either.
Yeah.
I was just thinking purely negative.
Me too.
I don't think that the people like close, but that would be the good thing about hearing just from people that you were close to. It's like they might say some things that you don't want to hear, but it would always be in your best interest because they care about you. It'd be things that they hope that you can improve, but they still love you regardless. And they want the best for you.
Would you want to do that in the future? Is find out what people think about you in the future?
Maybe. But I feel like it would become I think that would become another thing where I try really hard in the present to fix that.
Yeah.
But honestly, that might be a good thing. Like if I heard in the future that everyone fucking hates me, then I want to be better and make sure that I don't lose myself.
Yeah. That's how I see it too. It's like, yeah, you're a workaholic. Okay, well, work hard, but also dial it back maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Enjoy the little things. What about you, Puurich?
I don't think I would want to hear it. I mean, like I I feel like I would stress myself out more than it would be beneficial to hear things like that in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if everyone was like, awesome person, love him.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. If it's good,
I
you're
really
gonna
If it's
can't-
good things, then I just keep doing my thing.
Yeah. I really can't imagine either of you being that person in the future that everyone hates.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything could happen though, you know?
Yeah.
Same with you. I don't think anyone
Yeah.
would be like, she's such a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope that if we're still in each other's lives, which I know we will be because it's not allowed to not happen like that.
Yeah.
But that you guys would, if I started becoming that person, that the people around me would check me and be like, yo, what's your fucking
Yeah.
problem? You're becoming a huge bitch. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
Settle
want
down,
people to be
Kendall.
real with me and tell me that because I don't ever want to be that person and I don't want to lose the people in my life that I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And I
agree.
think that's what's really good about this friend group and this dynamic is we can be real with each other
Yeah.
without hurting each
Mhm.
other's feelings. you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Like we're a family.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
We've literally daydreamed about just all of us getting rich, buying an island, and just living on the
Yeah.
island together, totally
Yeah.
excluded from everybody.
And we're dead serious about that. I think there are people that I'd be like, yeah, like I'd totally do that with you. But I wouldn't actually want that to be my life for
Yeah.
the rest of eternity. But with you guys, I want that so bad. I hope it happens.
Yeah, we definitely hold each other accountable to a healthy level.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like ripping on each other all the
Mhm.
time,
Right.
but it's like, hey, cut the shit. Come on, like
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Like let's just move on past this so we can have a good
Uh-huh.
time and just be our normal friends again.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything in our friendship that is like lacking or that could be stronger?
No.
I really don't think so either.
Yeah. I feel we're such a solid group of friends.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I say no is I agree with your points, but I think that our friend group grows together
Yeah.
and we as friends grow together, so we learn things that we all need
Mm-hmm.
at the same pace.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there's somebody that's ahead or behind a little bit, like they like get picked up
Yeah.
Mhm.
in more of like an equitable way, and we learn how to work through things together, good or bad.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us have had like any like super serious, terrible, life altering live under a rock without somebody in our friend group making sure that they're not gonna permanently live under the rock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now we've all probably had our moments here and there, and like we've all had those moments, but we have collaboratively made sure that that person or that person's isn't there for longer than they need to be,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and just to show the continuous support.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being the youngest in the group, I look up to all of you guys as role models, and I like to follow in your footsteps, like not like job wise or anything, but like as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys are really good role models.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also another cool thing about, like I said before, how we've seen each other through so many different stages. We've all had so many chances to see each other's flaws and like
Mhm.
the positive things about them as
Yeah.
well. And so we've really learned to take each other as we are. And so even like you said, if somebody is falling behind or someone's too far ahead, we don't really always even need to pick them up and take them with us. It's like, you know what? Like move at your own pace. Like that's okay. We're still
Yeah.
here for you.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, if you guys could go have lunch with any person in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Like when I was younger or
I mean,
now.
anyone
Either.
now.
Well, this is kind of cheesy, but I was going to say if it was when I was younger, I honestly think it would be having lunch with you guys and just knowing that in the future, you're going to have a really great group of friends to lean on.
Oh, really?
How young?
Yeah.
Like 10-year-old you?
Yeah.
Probably like middle school or high
Oh,
school
okay.
me. I think high school was really, really rough for me. It was one of like the worst periods of my life, I think, honestly. So like, and I don't even really, looking back, I don't even really know why. Cause I'm like, Kendall, you weren't going through shit. Like you were literally fine. But like, I don't know. It's just, you know how high school is. It's an
Yeah.
awkward time. Everyone is just having a crisis over nothing because you're just trying to figure out your place in the world. But
Yeah.
like I said, I felt really alone because I really didn't have that many friends. I was always kind of that person growing up who just had one good friend, and that was really it. But I did think while I was in that period that it was always going to be like that, and that I was going to go to college and it was going to be the same way. I'd just be this outsider who didn't have any friends, and then after that, it'd be the same way. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Puurich?
I think it would be my dad's dad, my grandpa. He passed away before I was born, so I never got a chance to meet him. So I would like to, get like, I mean, I know that my dad and his family, back when he was in Thailand, they had a rough time growing up because my
Yeah.
grandma had 7 kids,
Yeah.
and so they were struggling. So I would like to see what my grandpa's dynamic was in that, and how they were as kids, like my aunts and uncles. It would be really cool to see that. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mine is going to kind of piggyback off of Purchase, but
Yeah.
mine might be kind of a loophole, but I would want to go back and have lunch with my dad when he was maybe like 24, 25?
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Post-college,
Yeah.
had a couple years under his belt. In kind of like the Avengers Endgame, when Iron Man goes back and like meets his dad, but he doesn't know that it's his son that he's like interacting with. I'd want it to be that dynamic of just I quote unquote run into my dad and I have lunch with him. I think that would be super cool because then it'd almost be like making a friend, and it'd be cool to see like where my dad is in that state, and like, oh yeah, what are your goals? Like what do you want to do with your life? Because I know exactly where it's gonna lead. But I think that's probably top 2 or top 3. It's either that or my grandpa.
Yeah.
So would you know that he's your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he
if
wouldn't know.
yeah,
that
like
you're
I would
his
go
son.
back exactly how I am now. Maybe I'd like dye my hair, like grow a beard or a mustache or something, so it's not as so he doesn't look at me and just goes, "Wait."
Do you think he would recognize you? Like,
Me-
or be like, "You look like me."
Me and my dad look very similar. Obviously not the exact same, but we look very similar at this age. And enough to where maybe he would catch on, because my dad's a really smart guy when it comes to like recognizing and seeing people. He'll see one person on the news and remember them and know their name. Like he knows the main actress of Law and Order SVU by name. I didn't even know he knew Law and Order SVU was a show. So like if I could go back and make sure that he doesn't know that it's me, for sure, but it'd be kind of interesting to then like go back, have lunch with him, and then flash forward, and like if he remembered, I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
I think that's actually, I would do that now. I would want to do that now too. I'd want to meet both of my parents when they were my age, just to see how they've changed and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about this before, how we've known our parents our entire lives and they've only known us for a fraction of theirs.
Yeah.
Like, what were you like? I want to know who you were before me.
That would be really cool.
That'd be so cool.
Like, who would we be if we never went to Outdoor Lab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would we be friends with each other?
No, because I would have gone to a completely different college.
But like, say
I would have never
we
met you guys
randomly with like under completely different circumstances and all at different times. Like, would we be friends?
I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. We just spent so much raw time together.
Yeah.
That's funny you bring that up. I've always thought about going back in time and seeing if I ever run into or was in the same proximity as somebody. I thought about that a lot with my girlfriend because she went to a completely different school district, completely different school.
Yeah.
If we ever we were at the mall on this random day at the same time and we had no idea. And like the same thing with you guys is like maybe we went to a sporting event or we did something school related that like we were just all at because our schools were at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
I've always
really cool
I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
And I've thought this is kind of weird, but I've always thought about that with my sister's friends too. Like if my sister was never friends with like one of her best friends goes to college in California, like if they never became friends, I wonder if I would have ever known her because I know her brother and he's a grade below me, but my sister and her are in the same grade. So I wonder if I would have ever crossed paths with her or like old bosses.
Yeah.
Right? Because
I definitely don't think it's unlikely that any of us would have had that kind of experience because even though most of us went to different schools except for Puurich and I, like we were relatively close to each other. And we were all in Colorado.
Yeah. that is going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you want a little sneak peek and some behind-the-scenes stuff, feel free to go leave us a follow on spilledmilk.podcast on Instagram. We have our same picture, so be on the lookout for that. If you would leave us a review and a comment, that would also be great. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Peace.